Well, you're with us today. Welcome back. We're glad you're at least, you're on the uptick.
Yeah. Well, sort of. It seems that way.
I mean, you haven't passed it, but I mean, the severity, the severe pain, hopefully it is behind you.
Yeah, and this is a good time. I get like 4 hours where I'm functional. But the thing on the pain, here was the thing about the pain was there's certain plants and stuff out there that like if you eat mushrooms, if you eat a bunch of mushrooms, that's right, they really won't make you do this one, but if you eat too many of them, they'll just make you throw up. But they will mess with your stomach a little bit because when you're taking a mushroom, it's going to check you out first, right? In my haze of what I went down, I was like, I'm not going to let you deal with me until I've dealt with you. Opium, it seems, because the intensified version of opium fucking knots up your stomach and makes you not want to use the bathroom. Probably even the smallest amount has effect. The other plants, the cannabis plant, the first thing that plant does, it jumps in and is like, dude, your stomach's going to be good. I got you tonight. So if you're hanging out with that plant, it's like, I'm going to coat your stomach. You're going to feel good, man. Your stomach ain't going to bother you. Now, if you dance with alcohol over there, or you dance with the cocaine over there, you dance with that monkey over there, you might have something different. But if it's just you and me all night, if you just stuck with me all night, bro, you could eat as much of this. You could eat your entire weight in me, and I ain't going to make you throw up.
Nice.
The whisper later is like, yeah, but you're going to eat a ton of food. And like, what? I didn't hear that. It's all right, man.
You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, what? And then later you pay for it, but it's eating a ton of food. But then the next morning, typically, you're able just to move that food out and you're done. If a tiny bit of, if you did that with like an opiate, even if you just had some reason to eat, your whole system would clench up.
Yeah.
To the point where you couldn't do anything. It would not treat you well. That plant isn't necessarily your buddy.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I mean, even with something as small in the spectrum of ailments, right? A kidney stone, it's amazing what the power of the green grass can do, right? It's, if it has that effect on a kidney stone pain, if it has that effect on some, pain that's minimal in the spectrum of, like, say, brain cancer or leukemia or anything that's like life terminal sort of threatening. I mean,
you could even say cancer. I mean, you could say
any cancer in general.
I mean, if you come in a gunshot and they're like, dude, man, and you meet Cheech and Chong as your fucking EMT riders, and like, dude, smoke this herb. And like, what?
Well, you know what? But here's
bro?
So here's the thing, right? So for the longest time, this is a little bit of a segue, but in the NFL, for the longest time, marijuana was illegal. If you smoked it, you were suspended. But all the players were like, man, this is the only shit that helps me with the pain. Now, obviously, when you get hit by a 300-pound man for 3 hours every week, you're going to be in some fucking pain, regardless, right? I mean, the NFL players are gigantic. Like, if you're 6'2", you're like basically the little guy. If you're a quarterback and you're under 6'5", you're considered tiny. I mean, it's so dumb. I mean, dumb to an extent, but your linemen
these are massive wrecking balls.
Oh my God, dude, your linemen are 6'8", 300, 400 pounds. Crazy.
Damn, it's a huge amount of energy running.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, if I got hit by a 6'8", 400-pound man, I would be in the hospital. I don't see myself surviving.
Yeah, and immediately they would pump you up. They would give you this morphine. They would drug you with morphine.
Yeah, well, Brett Favre was infamous, notorious, right? He was a three-time MVP 3 years in a row, and he was on pain meds, and he was just like, dude. He was the Iron Man. He played, I forgot how many, 200 games plus in a row. I think Peyton Manning broke that, but up to that point, he was the Lou Gehrig of football, and lo and behold, he's got to take painkillers because he's got a busted rib or a cracked rib or a broken finger or a torn this. I mean, if you just look, there's pictures of dudes' legs after a football game where the entire quad is a bruise. The entire, like, no bullshit, the entire thigh is bruised. And they're saying, like, fuck, dude, the weed, man, the pot, the marijuana is really what helps my pain. Now, and you could argue it's addictive, right? I mean, you could argue. I mean, maybe it is.
No.
It's not that marijuana is addictive, but this, at least in my experience, like I think maybe the sensation. It's not like cocaine or heroin where it's like, oh fuck, I need a fix.
Yeah, there's a physical with a specific thing that's uncontrolled. That doesn't exist. The sensation, I'm with you.
Yeah, so I mean, addictive is probably not the right word, but there may be an element. I mean, again, it's different. I mean, you could have billionaires smoke weed and are super productive, and then you have people who live at home with mom, play video games all day, and are 30, and they don't, they're not productive at all. But I think it's more. It depends on your personality. It'll enhance that. So if you're already lazy and unmotivated, it's probably going to make you lazier and more unmotivated. I mean, and I swear to God. But if you're like Elon Musk, who's just like fucking on another planet with his brain, I mean, there's a lot of million and billionaires who smoke weed and very successful. I mean, I've met a ton of them. So I mean,
in that regard, it's like no different than back in the day smoking cigarettes.
Yeah,
like those guys were smoking. Like the weed, the tobacco they were smoking was just you weren't smoking that thing because you loved bringing smoke into your lungs. You were bringing it because it was giving you some sort of sensation and clarity or doing something for you. It was doing something. You weren't doing it because you loved burning smoke in here. You just weren't doing that. That's impossible.
Yeah.
So this just so happens now that this is like a more intensified version. You know what, David? Smoke it. To get its effects, like anything can be abused, and the abuse is that nobody gets it, so they abuse it.
Exactly.
But in small, minuscule amounts.
And the argument that, oh, it's bad for your lungs. Okay, well, I eat it.
Ingestion.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to smoke it, and if you vaporize it, you're just breathing air. So I mean,
and eating it is even better. You get even more of it from a medical standpoint.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're freebasing it off a Coke can because you're poor and you're like 15, right? Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, no, it's not good at all. I mean, you're smoking some shit off of an aluminum can that you shouldn't be smoking. That shit's not right. It's gross.
Yeah, if you were able to back in, when Frank Sinatra was around and smoke a pack of cigarettes, at a job interview, I'm like, I just like to, I just like to be around people and you're puffing away.
Mm-hmm.
And to get the same effect before a job interview or just do your daily thing, you go outside and smoke outside alone and you smoke a little bit and you're good for like hours. Anybody who says that's not equal is insane. They've been lied to. You've been lying to yourself for so long that you don't even know the difference.
Yeah, and that's
just a medical thing. As a medical plant, that was the big difference. Like the minute that I realized that, or I'll just say speculating, is that the minute that stomach was settled, it was like, well, this is a way different animal. This is a plant. This plant, if you were, tribal walking around and you were trying to communicate with the spirits, this plant would be like, I'm cool with you, man. We're good.
Yep.
Because you could eat another plant, it won't make you throw up, and it could kill you almost instantaneously. But from that plant, you could consume acres of it. It might make you sick just because physically you've just eaten too much. But if you were to do that to poppy, you'd just be dead. Your heart would just explode.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to overdose on marijuana. No, I mean, you may eat your entire refrigerator, and you may sleep for about a day, but
you can't.
You're not going to. Yeah, it's not like liquor, right? I mean, drink a bottle of tequila. Drink a whole bottle of name your alcohol of choice. Drink the whole bottle and see what happens.
Yeah,
you're throwing up. You're sick. You're nauseous. And if you're lucky enough and don't get alcohol poisoning from it, I mean, but that's why the NFL the NFL banned it, or I should say they didn't ban it. They took it off the banned substance list. So now if you get tested for marijuana, you don't get fined, you don't get suspended.
God damn it.
I mean, they can still randomly drug test you, but I mean, obviously, if you're doing cocaine and whatever, you're going to get fined, but they can't actually do anything anymore with marijuana, which is good. I think